One. We are live, Rhea.
Yay!
So, how are you tonight?
I am doing well.
Yeah,
I am on the road.
on the
I'm
road again.
on the road again. I am in Virginia, in a different place in Virginia, but in Virginia, I'm here at a conference,
Oh,
and
a conference, a good one?
yeah, actually, a really good one. I'm loving this. I
What's the topic?
I'm really loving this because some of the things they're talking about are things that we talk about. They were talking about mindsets and how a fixed mindset can be limiting. And so that gave me the opportunity to raise my hand and talk about, yeah, about
Yeah,
how we never outperform our self-image
never.
and things like that. So it was a great day, and it's great when and this is something that's sponsored by my employer, because I do have a daytime gig,
Mhm.
and but by my employer, and I'm really thrilled by that
What's the
to.
topic of the like?
Well, primarily we're talking about there are about how many of us here? Uh, about maybe close about 150 people here, and of all ethnicities and groups, and so it's a diversity and inclusion event, but it gives us an opportunity to talk to one another about our experiences, and it is finding an affinity.
Mhm.
So it's talking to similarly situated, for me, African Americans who are it, challenges that we're having in the workplace and things like that. But one of the things that we discover, well, I don't know if discovered is the right word, but one of the things that we actually illuminated for us, we illuminated for ourselves at each table. It wasn't at just one table. Was those things that we think of as impediments to our growth and development. As we listed them, and they ask us to categorize them. What's in your control? What do you have influence over, and
Mhm.
what do you have no control over? And
Mhm.
those things that we listed as critical issues, not a single one and not in a single instance that we say, oh, I have no control over that.
Hmm.
So recognizing that that the power is within you, that you have influence, that you have control,
Mhm.
and then talking about the mindset, and how your mindset can limit you, and how the mindset is just that's the basic thing that you have to deal with. And
Yes.
and they're saying this, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. So like, you all must watch Tune In Tuesday, and
But but
so
but isn't it true? I mean, that's the
oh
battle. It's
yes.
the battle all the time, and until we can master that, or
Mhm.
and it's like, it's so interesting because that subconscious mind is just this loop that plays in your head, and it's like a tape that just keeps on playing. And
Mhm.
like if you recorded somebody saying something and you hit play and you said, well, that's not true, stop saying that, it would just keep playing. It's not going to stop. It's
Mhm.
not going, a new recording has to be made. And so that
That's right.
mindset piece is so important. I mean, it's a constant thing. I don't think we stop when it comes to growing our mindset.
Oh, it is. It's something that that, and we're not saying, oh, people out there, you deal with this, and Laura and I don't deal with this. No, 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 no. I can speak for myself, and I believe I can speak for Laura too. We deal with the mindset, the self image issue Constantly. Now, I don't know if our mentor and friend Paul Martinelli is going to catch this, but I even threw in some choice words about holding your image. How you develop a self-image, and you have to hold that image to be able to overcome all of these other things that are challenging that image. You really have to hold your vision. You have to hold that image. So that's where I am. So can you imagine how happy I am?
I just wish I was there. I mean, how wonderful that, your employer does this type
Yes.
of training for people, because smart employers know that to grow their business, they grow their employees.
Yes.
And that's how it
That's
works.
right. That is right.
But there are people that are afraid, and it's so interesting. Like, one of the things John Maxwell always says, um, like, if you talk to somebody about growing their business, you grow your people, and then
Mhm.
you grow your business from that. That sometimes businesses will say, well, what if I train them and then they leave? And one of the
Yeah.
things that they say at the John Maxwell team is, well, what if you don't train them and they stay?
Hmm.
Right? I mean, so, but you know what? Whether it's an employer or it's not an employer, it's about you. It's
That's right.
about, and our topic tonight is, the path to continued growth. When do we
Hmm.
get there? When do we say, okay, it's enough, I'm good now?
Never.
Never. and
Never.
and the truth is, this world, it's not stopping for you. If you thought this world was going to stop for you, let me be the first one to tell you, it doesn't. Right?
It's not.
It keeps going, it keeps
Well,
moving, constantly going. So if
oh.
you're not going and growing yourself, then you are going backwards, because
Oh,
you can't stay
absolutely.
the same.
Yes. Yes. Well,
So
think
what?
about all of the things that we used to be proficient at, and how they've become outdated. I hey, I type the typewriter. Okay, how far back do we have to go? But the typewriter, and then eventually that morphed into the word processing machine. Then it became the computer. But there are things that, oh, the duplicating machine. I mean, we could talk about all kinds of office equipment, but there are things that used to be proficiencies or skills that are no longer required. And so you have to be able to continue to develop, continue to learn, no matter what age you're at, no matter what age. And for us, we're not just talking about skills, but the learning continues. For us, the reading, the studying, that continues. We need to learn more. We need to understand more. We need to be able
Mhm.
to share more. And it goes on. Now you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful, because and I'm speaking from my own experience,
Mhm.
on my own current experience, is that we're bombarded right now by media, by everything that we see on social media, and by opportunities to continue to read more and learn more. You cannot read and learn and digest and follow everything that's out there. So, I do, at least for me, I can't. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I have to be very selective
Right.
about what it is I'm going to learn, make certain that fits within my plan, my vision for myself, and also, that someone's able to benefit from that. So there's a lot, but we have to keep going. We have to keep
But
learning. There's always another book that we need to become more than just basically acquainted with.
right, but you said something so key right there, is that you said, your plan,
Hmm.
right? So if you ask your average person, what do you want? If I had a genie in a lamp right now and it was going to give you what you want, the life you want, would you know what that is? What does it
Yep.
look like to have the life you want? Because I know me, honestly, I originally thought my life was going to be in banking and that I was going to be this corporate professional, and I was for a long time.
Hmm.
And then I went back to school, and then I worked in the area of crisis counseling, and I still do, and mental health, and then became, a life coach. And then I thought, well, one-on-one coaching clients is really where I want to go. And so I did that. And I have coaching clients, so I'm very selective in who I work with one-on-one. And then it was more like I want to do groups and trainings. And
Yes.
so here's the thing is you might not know exactly what it is you want, but don't not start,
Yeah.
right? Don't say, well, I don't know exactly what I want. I don't know exactly what it looks like. So I'll just wait until one day it just comes to me,
Or
right?
it
So
comes to you fully, but it can morph.
it
You can
does
have a
morph. It
vision
does
right
morph.
now, and it can morph, especially as you learn more.
A
As you
hundred.
learn more about these things, it's you could say, okay, I want to be a coach, one-on-one coaching clients, and you may learn more about that field, and it's like, oh, that's not exactly what I want to do. You tweak that, and that's
Right.
fine, but you've got to start by putting a plan in place
Right.
that you work from. It's easier to edit than it is to write. So, you put it in place the first time, and then you work off of that as you go. One of the conversations that happened today was, someone said, I want a mentor, and okay, and you want a mentor because, and what is it you want to discuss? What is it you want to do? What is it you want to work towards? Oh, I'm not really sure. Well, if you want a a senior executive to be your mentor, you do not want to show up in his or her office and say, I don't know. What do you want? What do you think I should do? That's not the way to go. So,
Okay.
can you imagine? It's- but it
I'm
happens.
imagining it right now.
But it happens.
Right.
So,
It does.
you've got to invest in yourself and
Right.
be intentional. Be very, very intentional about what it is you're doing. You know what? And I'm talking about intentionality, and unintentionally, we have not greeted our people who are here with us. So we're
Yeah, and
so sorry about
we've
this.
had
So, we're
a
so
bunch of
excited.
comments, a bunch of comments too. So Karen says, good analogy. The recording must be replaced instead of telling the old one to stop.
Hmm.
Um, oh, James is here. Hey, James,
Hello, James.
bless you
God
too.
bless you too.
Donna's here. Hi,
Hello,
beautiful,
Donna.
beautiful Donna. Allie says, agreed. When it's replaced with love and new things and people, it does stop. We
Hello,
create
Ellie.
create a new one. Karen says, I believe in being forever a student.
Yes,
Ah,
yes. Hmm.
power in that. So Donna says, sometimes we are the student and sometimes we are the teacher. Either way, we're all in the school of life.
Of life. That's right. I love that. I love
Oh,
that.
awesome. Safa. Hey, Safa.
Hello, Safa.
Safa says, love it. It's easier to edit than it is to write.
It
And
is.
Barbara's here tonight. She says, great topic. I'm always stretching, growing, reading, setting new goals. God redirects me to new challenges. Yeah.
Yes. And I wonder, has anyone out there ever had someone make the comment to them, what are you doing? You're always reading something. You're always learning. Why are you always trying to learn something new? I mean, in the context of this conversation, that sounds really funny, but but
Uh-huh.
people ask questions like that. Why are
Uh-huh.
you always going to seminars? Why are you always taking classes? What is it you're trying to do? I'm learning.
And some people don't have experience with growing themselves. And if you don't, and I didn't always have experience with growing myself. And so if you don't know what you don't know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so people say that to me all the time. My family, my friend, like lots of people do, because if you don't know what it feels like to be growing yourself from the inside out, then you don't know what is missing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But
And it's
my thing is to start what you think you might want your life to look like. Just to start something, because it will probably, like when you say, it will evolve. It will evolve. It will change, but you're not going to know what you want until you start,
right.
and
Right.
just go through that. But this growth journey we're on, I firmly believe it is not going to end for me. I can only speak for me, but
Yeah.
I don't know that there's an end to growing yourself and up leveling your thinking.
Well, and you saying that helps me in many ways. As I've heard you say that before, and I remember you saying once you're always in a class, or you'll always be in a mastermind, or there's something that you'll always be doing to learn. And I stopped and thought, I, that's it. That's what I want. That's what I want to say, without any shame or hesitation. With despite the fact that there may be others who join, and people have opinions. An opinion is like a butt. Everybody has one, okay? But the thing is, people will have opinions about what it is you're doing. But you know what? There are times when those same people might be confused about something, and they might think they need a little life coaching. And who might they call? Or they might get into a situation where they decide maybe they want to talk. Laura would be a good person for them to talk to, or Rhea would be a good person for them to talk to, and that's great. And I'm here for all of that. But in
Hmm.
this life, this one life, I want to do what I want to do, and I want to learn, and I want to use that learning to help others, and and
Hmm.
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Right. Right. And when you put yourself out there in this growing capacity of, just I'm always going to be learning, I'm the student, I'm always going to be in a class, I'm always going to be
Hmm.
growing myself. When you put yourself out there in that light, it is amazing the people that come into your life.
Hmm.
Right. I mean, Rhea and I met through, a coaching partnership, and I had done that coaching partnership before, and almost didn't do it again.
And that
But
was my first time. So yeah,
right, right. But not my first time. And
right.
so the idea is that when you put yourself out there in that way, you meet people that, like, boom. It is like a boom, like a firework boom. It's like, wow, what just happened?
Hmm. And I think we are both open to that. Open to the new experience. Open to being able to use our gifts, our talents, our knowledge to help others, as you can say, the universe, God, whomever decides that it needs to happen the way it needs to happen. So, and this is a very exciting time, and it is, and for me, it's exciting. Like I was talking about the conference earlier, when when different things confirm each other. So, I'm learning this on one side, on the personal growth, personal development side, and then here, on the employment side, where 10 years ago people would have said, "Oh, that's woo woo," or that's self help. We're not interested in that self help stuff. We're a technology company. They would have dismissed it
Mhm,
wholesale. That
mhm,
we are recognizing the importance of our thoughts, the importance of talking to people one on one and meeting people where they are, the importance of making certain that people are heard, and how that relates to them being able to buy into a vision that you share with your team. All of these things that we've been learning about, and how and why. So I'm just excited. I'm talking so much, but I'm really excited about this.
And it is exciting. It's exciting when a business acknowledges that we grow through our people growing. Like
Hmm.
that is exciting. That's like, whoa, somebody's getting it. Somebody's hearing something, that's real. I mean, in the world where I come from right now, as far as my work in a nonprofit, there's not a whole lot of that. I wish there was more, but I always wish that there was more. But that's exciting. It's exciting when somebody gets it, you know.
Yes.
I mean, you
Yeah.
and I both as coaches, we know what's exciting is when somebody gets it and it's like, whoa. So
Mhm.
Allie says, I'm back, finally live. Hello, ladies. My dreams have morphed so much, and it has been an abundant blessing. The
Oh,
more new things
wonderful.
I start, the more unfolds.
Wonderful.
See, and there's truth in that too. The more, what she's saying is, it's been an abundant blessing. The more new things I start, the more unfolds. So the
Hmm.
idea is to start, to
Hmm.
come from that place of abundance, to
Hmm.
be in that place of gratefulness. And yes, the more you start, the more will unfold. So Safa, brilliant, right? There is no finish line when it comes to personal growth.
That's
There
right.
isn't.
That's right.
Growth mindset, the more we know, the more we know how little we know. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
That's
It
a
is
good one.
true.
And then you're going to get people, okay? This is how limiting beliefs can work, right? You'll get people. I've had people say this to me, and I'd be surprised if you haven't, Rhea. People will say things like, well, of course people want you to, do personal growth. That's how they're making money. That's how,
Mm-hmm.
people are making money. So they want, okay, first of all, when you're growing and when you're not, right? I don't need anybody to tell me, Laura, you're growing or you're not, right?
Right.
So
Right.
if I wasn't growing, why would I be continuing?
Yes. Yes. People will always have something to say. And this is the importance of an inner circle, because there are some people who have earned, through a number of factors, the the right to be heard on their as they speak into your life and your life choices. And not everyone fits into that category. Believe me, I've learned this from experience.
Yeah.
And where I was speaking into someone's life and I was not invited to do so. So it's everyone doesn't get the right to speak into your life, and they may have opinions. And again, yeah, okay, so they have an opinion, but and I think you said this, and Les Brown said this. What people think of you is none of your business.
Right.
So, but sometimes people make it your business. That's the problem. But that's they can think whatever they want when they're on the other side of the room, but when they approach you and decide that they're going to share with you what they think, then they've made it your business.
Well,
But
yeah.
still, we as we grow, and I think you can attest to this. One of the things we do develop is a thicker skin,
Yes.
and you're learning to deal with certain things that and you learn the importance of reactions, and how we
Mhm.
react, and the impact of reactions. So okay, all right, people think that, and it's easier said than done, because it took me a long time even to invite my entire Facebook friend list to Tune In Tuesday. It took a moment, because I was concerned about judgment. What were people going to think? What were my colleagues going to think? Blah blah blah. This is what I do. This is who I am. I'm not, pole dancing on Tuesdays. I mean, this is something that I'm doing to help others and hopefully help any of my friends who wants the help. And I think it's a good thing. It's a noble thing, and it's a needed thing.
Right? And
So
because
go
you
ahead.
are trained to do it.
I am trained.
You
That's right.
went through what needed to happen for you to be put in the situation.
That's true. And
So,
so did you.
yes. And so, there are people that go through all of that and then still sit back
Hmm.
because of that fear of what people might think. I think what did it for me was when I finally learned that people respond to their level of thinking. And so when somebody shares with you their opinion is coming from their level of thinking. And now there are many levels of thinking,
Hmm.
many, many, many of them. And some people don't ever work on growing themselves. And so therefore their level of thinking may be at a lower level because they haven't really worked on themselves.
So true.
When I learned that, when I really when that sunk into my subconscious mind, that when people say things to you, they're really only working from the best that they can, and their
Hmm.
level of thinking is going to be different.
Hmm.
When I got that, it was like wasn't it's not like that I care or I don't care what other people say. It just didn't matter so much.
It didn't have the same impact.
Right. It just didn't matter because I knew then that it really wasn't about me. It
Yeah,
was more
yeah.
about them. And when I got that,
Mhm.
it changed everything for me. Everything. It allowed me to really be me. And even when I do trainings and, I'm just me. And you can be so freely you when you're not thinking of what somebody else might say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Mhm.
agree.
So we've got, let's see. Safa says, I know I'm growing when I'm uncomfortable. If
Ooh.
not, I ask myself, what do I need to do to be uncomfortable? Oh, that's Safa. She is on fire tonight. Yeah,
Wow, Safa.
that's great. It's true, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be
Mm-hmm.
comfortable being uncomfortable. That's
Mm-hmm.
how it works. So Allie says, yes, me too, Rhea. I've been on the receiving end of unwanted and unwarranted criticisms, etc. Not everyone deserves a seat at our table. How about Allie?
I love that. I
Uh-huh.
love that.
Uh-huh.
Not everyone deserves a seat at our table, even if the seat is empty. That's
That's
not your
right.
seat.
Don't even set places for people at your table because you want
Yes.
them to like make sure that they're supposed to be there.
Yes.
So
By place with place cards only.
right, exactly. Um, you might want to put them at another table. You don't know.
That's right.
So Donna says another awesome form of personal growth is when we face a personal fear, which
Mm.
when faced allows us to move forward in learning more about who we are. We
Mhm.
humans are meant to evolve and not stay okay, who are these people tonight? I mean, amazing. This is like, I don't know, Rhea. We're like,
It's like boom, boom, boom,
I
boom.
know they're brilliant. Like it's amazing. We're all learning from each other tonight.
Yes.
This is probably like the most meaningful, like incredible
These
comments.
golden nuggets that we're
And
getting from it.
Donna
Everyone's just
touched,
giving us gold.
yeah, and everybody else, they're sharing their gold. And so Donna
Yes.
touched on something else here, right? Facing a fear.
Hmm.
Because you and I, we've talked about fear on our tune-ins how
Oh,
many times?
yes.
And we'll still do it more,
Yeah. Yes.
right? But facing a fear allows us to get past the fear,
Hmm.
right? Like fear could be such a roadblock. We hit it, we jump back. We hit it, we jump back. We hit it, we jump back. And it just keeps the pattern going until one day we hit it and we say, I've done the work to face it, and I'm not going to jump back this time. And when you face it, we've talked about this, right? When you face fear, first of all, fear is something we create in our mind. It's not a real kind of thing. It's in our thinking. And when we face it, it's like the gremlins. When they come to light, they
Dissipate.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but in order to face that fear and not jump back, you've had to do some work
Yes,
because, right? I mean, it takes courage and it takes
absolutely.
that self growth to
Mm-hmm.
be able to face a fear.
Mm-hmm.
But Donna is absolutely right. When you do that, when you can face that fear, it allows you to move forward and start learning more about who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And fear, it just, when we come from fear or we have fear, nothing's logical anymore. It's
But I mean, as you say, it's something that we can work. And sometimes we have to understand what fear is. I mean, there are some fears that do protect us and cause us to at least stop and ask ourselves and be aware of the situation, because it's a potential danger. Somehow we might be hurt, but there are some fears that are just based on discomfort,
Mhm.
and we really have to work through those. We have to work through. We have to question them.
Yeah, and
And then
listen,
sometimes we have to, even if we are afraid, we still have to act. We have to do it afraid,
do it
and,
afraid.
and that's okay. And that's actually it's great.
I mean, some fear is good. We're not going to run in front of a moving car or a
That's
moving
right.
train. We're not going to, run up to a bear. I mean, we have fear for a reason, but the fears that we build in our mental state of mind, the memories or the post-traumatic stress we might have from memories,
Mm-hmm.
that's fear. And those are hard to face.
Mm-hmm.
Those are hard to face because they're in here and we've already created a space for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they have prime real estate in here.
You can evict them.
You can evict them.
You can evict them.
It sounds like Donna did some evicting.
That's a wonderful
Yeah,
thing.
which is great. Allie says, when we're loved and accepted for who we are, it's my experience that I grow the most.
That is
When I'm
one.
free to be me, I take the most risks and my joy is overflowing.
Ah,
Then she says, June 9th, Laura, and last night, LOL. I'm not, oh, facing fears, I think. I think that's what Allie's talking about, facing fears.
oh, okay. All right.
And Safa says something that can help beating fear. Journaling. Saf is like your walking advertisement,
Where's
Rhea.
my journal? Where's my journal? Okay, it's over on the other side of the room. But we'll just use this and pretend this is the journal.
Right.
It's journal time. Thank you, Sapphire. Yes, yes, yes. So now is the time. It's time for us to wrap up.
It
Uh,
is.
It
Okay.
is, it is. But we thank you all for joining us. Wow, this has been a great time together. Thank you for your contributions and your
Yeah.
statements, and they mean so much to us, and they help us. And I'm glad you help each other. That is so
Yeah.
important.
So if you're catching the replay, make sure you scroll through these comments because there is some gold down there in these comments. People really, if this is what our group is becoming, like such aware and growth minded and
Yes,
fear facing people, I mean, this is amazing. I am
yes.
psyched right now. These are my people, my kind
All
of people.
right. All right.
All right. So, Rhea, thank you.
Thank you,
And
Laura. Love you, love you.
you're looking very well. You're looking feeling
Well, thank you. Yeah, I was a little under the weather on over the weekend, but I feel much better. Much
Yes,
better.
but you're
Thank you.
so beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you
So
so much.
enjoy the rest of your conference. Wish I was there with you.
Yeah, just one more day. I wish you were here too.
Oh my
Hey, we
God.
would have a great, great time. We
Yeah,
would have we'd have a wonderful time. You'd love this.
I
So,
know. I know. Well, eat it up and then spit it out when you get
and
home
I'll
to me.
share it. That is yes, I'll share it.
Maybe
So,
next week we'll have Rhea debrief us
oh,
on what
okay.
she's learned from this, so we can all take a little bit of it with us. All right. So until next week, we wish
Yes,
you a ridiculously amazing.
ridiculously amazing.
Yeah, go
Uh,
get it.
all right. All right.
Have a
Bye,
good week,
everyone.
everybody. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.